All right, full disclosure, this video could go really, really wrong. So I am going to attempt to create the water heating tube. I have done it in the past. The directions in PLTW, however, I was never able to quite make work last year. We tinkered with it as a class for a really long time. So there's a piece of the directions that I'm going to completely change. But it's been a while since I've done these skills, and I am working with a touchpad instead of a mouse. So that is not the greatest thing ever. This particular lesson is going to cover how to do a sweep, which is pretty cool. We've done some shelling before. It's supposed to cover making an axis. So I might demonstrate doing the construction axis, except that what they want you to do with that, like I said, we weren't ever able to get it to work. And then threading something. So we'll see how it goes. You might want to, if you're using this to help you catch up from home, you might want to just play the video and see how it goes, and then try to model it after I'm done, because if it goes really wrong, you're not going to want to copy those steps. So we're going to start by creating a sketch, and I'm going to start it on the XY plane as usual. And what we're going to draw is a horseshoe-like shape, and then we'll dimension it. So we're going to use the feature, if I can figure out how to make it work on a touchpad, that will allow me to create the arc. So if you hover over the line tool, you'll notice that it creates lines and arcs. We're going to start at the origin and go straight up, and then not that, then arc it, there we go, and then bring it straight down, but not all the way, and then I'll check mark it off. So apparently I almost figured that out. This did not quite work, so you can see that I have a tangent constraint over here. We actually want this to be tangent also, so I'm going to go ahead and put the tangent constraint on that. So I had to do that manually because I kind of screwed it up, but all's well that ends well. And then hopefully these are they match up with each other, which I think it moved it down, so it did. Okay, so to do a sweep, basically if you picture a paper clip, and at the time that I'm recording this, I haven't recorded the lesson that goes with it. Usually I record the lesson first, but it's been a day. So we're doing this part first. But if you think of a paper clip or like a hose to a vacuum cleaner or something, that's the kind of thing that you would make with a sweep. And it's probably easier to show you than to describe. So I'm going to finish the sketch. And then what I need to do is I need to create a sketch on a plane perpendicular to the plane of my current sketch. So my current sketch is in the XY plane, which means that I'm going to create a sketch on this. Well, you know what, you can't see it yet, but the reason I needed this to start at 0, 0 is for those of you in geometry, you know that a point has no dimensions. So if I were to look at this head on, not on the flat surface, but look at it from like the bottom, so to speak, like I wouldn't see anything because it doesn't have any dimensions. So I need to know where I put it. So I put it at the origin. So let's go ahead and create a sketch. And this is the plane that I want. So this plane right here that I'm hovering over, that's the plane that I drew it on. I want this plane right here so that I can draw a circle at the end of my little profile there. Okay, and notice how once we turn it there, now my other sketch is there. Okay, when I hover my mouse over it, you can see it, but you can't see anything about it, and you can't see where those locations are. Like there are some points there, but yeah. So I need this, what I'm about to sketch, to line up perfectly with the end of that little horseshoe that I did. So I have to be very intentional about making sure I start at the origin. So I am going to draw a circle, okay, and I'm going to start it at the origin, and I just realized I did not do something I needed to do. So I'm going to click back, Shoot, why do I have 2 sketches? I don't like that at all. Okay, I want to edit the sketch. That's the one I want. See, this is why you probably wanted to watch the whole video first. I'm going to put some dimensions on this first. I feel like I'm missing a dimension. And it's not going to let me out of this program. Oh, it did let me out. All right, guys, you're going to come on an adventure. What I need to get is that dimension right there. I need to get it off of this schematic 1.95. Can you guys remember 1.95? Maybe 1.95. Okay. All right. I need to dimension this. This piece right here needs to be 2.31 inches. This piece over here needs to be not 2.06. It needs to be 2.06 minus 0.25. If you can't tell, I'm doing math out. 0.25. Okay, that looks good. So 1.81. Okay, and then the dimension that I just went to look up is the distance between these two, and that needs to be 1.95. Boom, there we go. Okay, now I can finish it. So if you're watching from home, yeah, make sure you dimension that, and hopefully, yeah, let's like put that on there. Okay, so now I have that dimensioned correctly. All right, now let's go back, and we're gonna put our circle. That is not what I wanted to do. I did not pick the right plane. Okay, let's try again. I want that plane. There we go. And we're going to center our circle right at the origin, and the diameter of that circle needs to be 0.37 is the outer dimension. So 0.37 inches. Okay. So now we can finish that sketch. So now you can kind of see what we have here. We have this like horseshoe shaped thing, and then we have this circle perpendicular to it. So what we are going to do is create a sweep. And what it's going to do is sweep that circle along that profile and create essentially a tube or something that looks like a paper clip. It's going to be filled in because this is filled in. So, in my create panel, we're going to pick sweep. Now we've done lots of extruding. We've done some revolving. We're going to do a loft here instead of a revolve because I haven't been able to figure out how to do it with a revolve. But we're going to pick a sweep. And notice over here, it's a single path sweep. We're going to pick the profile that we want to sweep and then the path that we want to sweep the profile along. So the profile that I want to sweep is the circle. Whoops. Okay, there's the profile. And now I'm going to come down here and select the path. I want it to go along that path. And it gives me that nice little preview. Like I said, it's going to look like a paper clip or something. You can do some other things too. You can taper it. Chain select, I think, is like when you have like the tangent pieces. Remember how when I sketched it, I kind of had a little bit of an issue where I didn't have something tangent, and it just basically says like chain those all together, and we're creating a new body out of that. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, now the next thing is something that we were not able to figure out, but I do want to demonstrate constructing like an axis just because that's a skill. We're just not going to do it this way. What they want us to do, well, let's construct the axis. So we've done like offset planes. We've done, I don't know if we've done mid planes, but we're going to come down here and construct an axis through a cylinder. I think that should be good. And then you pick the cylinder that you want to construct the axis through, and well, that looks good. And basically what that did was it put an axis through there that you could then use to reference more construction. And it's going straight through the center there. Now, what they wanted us to do was to draw a profile on, oh, like I'm just not entirely sure how they wanted us to do it. I tried so many things last year. I tried putting a plane through here, but no matter what I did, it just wasn't working. And then I thought I can do this another way. So I'm going to do it another way. So what we're going to do is, what we need to do is create a tapered end here. We need to taper it. It annoys me that the PLTW curriculum does not tell you how much it needs to be tapered. I feel like that's a really important detail, but it's not there. If I go back to this is what we're trying to do here, and it gives us all kinds of information about this, but it's going to be 1/4 of an inch and it needs to taper in, but it doesn't tell us how tapered it needs to be. So we're just going to weigh it. We're going to pick something, okay, on that. Then we're going to shell it, and then we are going to thread it when we are done. So all right, so I was not able to figure out how to do that with a revolve. They wanted us to construct a profile and then revolve it around that axis, and I couldn't get it to work. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to do a loft. So we are going to construct an offset plane. We're going to offset it from this plane, and we're going to pull it 0.25 inches away, because that's the distance that we need. Now that I have that plane there, now I can draw on that plane. So we're going to create a sketch, and we're going to choose that plane. And because I want this centered on that circle, I am going to draw it centered in there. And then this is the part that we don't know. We don't know how tapered they wanted this to be. So I'm going to make it, the original one was 0.37. Let's make this 0.35. Okay. Yeah, I don't really like that. Maybe 0.3. I don't know. 0.3 sound good. We are legitimately guessing at that. Okay. So now I have that. I know it's going to be tapered, but if you would like to do something a little different on yours, that's fine. And now we'll make the tapered end by constructing a loft from this circle to this one. I know that that works. If any of you would like to read the actual curriculum, so we're going to loft it from there to there. Oh, nope. Shoot. Back up. I picked the point instead of the actual circle. Let's see if I can do that better. All right, loft. We want that circle, and then why won't it let me pick the circle? It's letting me pick like the point, but there we go. Is that better? I need to see it. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Wait. Wait, hold up. What was the problem? Okay. What? Okay, so what was the problem? Profile. Okay, we're just not sure what happened there. All right. So we're just gonna delete that. And I'm trying to think of why it didn't work. Let's just try to create it again. Wait, now my sketch is gone. Okay, great. Well, there it is. Okay, my sketch is still there. All right, but it won't let me loft to it. Apparently not. Great. All right, so let's go back and let's delete that. Okay. So why is my offset plane gone? Oh my gosh. So my offset plane should still be there. Oh, hang on. plane. For some reason, the visibility was turned off. Oh my gosh, I wonder if that was the problem with my sketch too. Okay, well, all right. So let's try this again. I'm not sure if it was something that like I picked that was problematic, or okay, let's try 0.33. Okay, that looks good. And let's try the loft again. Okay, so that profile, and then nope. Okay, that was wrong. Loft. That profile, and then it's not letting me want to pick what I want here. I want the entire circle. Okay, that looks right. Doesn't it look right? It looks like it should be okay. This is bothering me though. Why is that point? Review warning. Compute failed. All right, well, but that's completely unhelpful in every way for why it failed. Okay, let's turn the visibility of my sketches back on. Well, boys and girls, I'm not at all sure why that loft should be failing. I am going to delete the axis. I don't know why that would make a difference, but and then that looks like it should be good. But it is very much not wanting to loft that. And I'm like at a loss on this one for why. Let me try one more thing. Let's try lofting from there back to there. Nope. It like really doesn't. And like that is completely useless in every way. Okay, well, I gotta make a decision because I'm recording a video. So I think I'm picking the right things, but it really does not want to make that loft. Well, let's go on and do the rest of it, and then maybe we can come back and handle the rest of that later. I don't know. I could think of like maybe change the size of it. Let's try that. Let's try one more thing. I'm gonna edit that sketch and let's make it like even smaller. Let's make it 0.2. Oh, that did not edit. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay. And just see if that makes some kind of difference. If it. All right. So let's look at the first profile. We want the whole circle. The second one. Okay. And loft number 5. And that is unhelpful in every way. So let's move on. Okay, so we are going to shell this. We're just going to move on, and I will see what I can do between now and when we do this in class. See if I can clean this up and figure out what the problem is, because I know we did this with the loft last year. Unless we can figure out how to do it with a revolve. Now I'm thinking again. This is probably not a good idea. I want to create a plane. Two faces or two work planes. A plane tangent to a face at a point. What if I do a plane through 3 points? The problem is I need a third point. Okay. I'm trying something, and I am so sorry. Point along a path. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so what I did was I just constructed a point there. And what I'm going to try to do is construct a plane through 3 points. This point, and then that center point. Okay, now I'm going to try to draw on that plane if I can select it. And this is going to be so hard to do. Okay, I'm going to draw from there down. Well, I honestly don't know what I'm doing. To the edge of that circle, to the center, and then back here, and then back there. Well, that's jacked up, but we're just, okay. Let's see if we can do a revolve. Oh, I need to put my axis back. Axis through cylinder. There we go. Okay, I need my axis back. Let's see what happens when we revolve that shape around that axis. Oh, we have something. And maybe I figured out how to do it. Although that's not exactly how, like, I had to do a construction plane on that. All right, well, we'll take it. We'll take it. That was the long way around that. And then I have that weird sketch sitting out there. Let's turn that sketch off. What sketch is that? That is that sketch. Let's turn that one off. I have a lot of sketches. Maybe that's the one I want turned off. I don't know. Now I'm turning all of them off. Okay, whatever. All right, let's go shell this puppy. All right, so we're gonna modify. We're gonna pick shell, and you can select the faces or the body. Typically, I would select the face, and it should shell the whole thing. We want the thickness to be 0.1 inches, and we want it shelling inward, which is really hard to see. We want it going this direction, but it won't let me do it. Okay, try again. I want to do that. That'll work. And then we want that thickness to be 0.1 inches. Not 100% sure what happened there. Oh, so much drama. I picked something wrong. What did I do? Body. Inside thickness. Well, that did not work. We obliterated it. Oh, really? No, the revolve is fine. This is just gonna be, this is like the biggest hot mess of a video ever. Inside thickness. that obviously like is not what we wanted to do. And I kind of remember this happening last year. But not really. This is not right. Why is that arrow pointing in such a bizarro direction? We want to shell it inward. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Well, why didn't that work? Would you guys believe me if I said this went perfectly last year? I'm going to drag this 0.1. Okay, that looks fine. What if we make it 0.15? What is it doing? Why is it doing that? We need that to be 0.01. No, we want it to be 0.1. That doesn't feel right at all. But it's supposed to have an inside diameter of 0.27 and an outside diameter of 0.37. Inside thickness. And that is erring. The operation would cause a large topology change. I took a whole class on that in grad school. Not inner, outer, thickness, inside thickness. Wait a minute. Direction inside, outside. See, the problem with this is I think our tapered end there. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you what happened here. So we're going to do the section analysis. And if I pick a plane, I'm going to pick this one. What you should be able to see is that we basically shelled the whole thing, and I can drag this plane through it. Maybe down here. And you can see that all the way through our pipe, if you look up at the top of the screen there, it's been shelled to become a pipe. I think part of the problem is that the hole that we're making, it has to do with this part down here, because we made it so narrow that the hole is pretty much just going to punch its way out. And some of that is because we didn't have any dimensions on that. I'm gonna guess that's what the issue is it's just not letting us do it because it's too narrow and the hole would punch its way out, and so it's impossible to shell that down there. So I don't think I'm gonna sweat it too bad for this. I think for you guys, unless I can straighten this out before we do it in class, which depending on what year we're using this or watching this, like I'll be able to do that. But I think that's what the issue is. So let's go on and do the threading. So we are going to create threads. We're going to create them on the outside of this. We want I do have it written down, but it's getting dark in here. 3/8 16 UNC. We're going to do a right hand thread on that. But we don't want the whole thing. So we want modeled, and we only want those threads to go 1/2 inch. So nope, not that. Let me turn it. Nope. Oh, good grief. Seriously. What? I just can't. Okay. So we want threading. Let's try this again. I'm about to just be over it. All right. So we want to thread this, but we don't want to thread it the whole way. Modeled. I know the directions say to check that. Full length. We do not want full length. We want only 1/2 inch. So there we go. So uncheck full length and then put that in. This looks all good. Click OK, and we've got it threaded. So after a bajillion hours, my parents are back in, and it took 30 minutes and a catastrophe to model this, but I will try to sort out before we cover this in class what the issue was with that loft, and we can't shell it all the way to the point. Try to do everything you can, and if we have to modify the requirements, I'll let you know in class what you need to submit for this particular assignment. I do hope that the video helped, even if you laughed at me because my computer was freezing up. Let me know if you have questions, and I wouldn't blame you after watching this video if you have all kinds of questions, but hopefully it did help at least a little bit.